go. காசு இருக்கு. இந்த ஹாஸ்பிடல் போறோம். இந்த பைக் காசு இருக்கு. இந்த போன ரொம்ப சீரியஸ்.
அம்மா இல்லனா தைரியமா ஹாஸ்பிடலுக்கு போன் போட்டு நம்ம சொல்ல முடியும். அம்மா இருக்கும்போது
என்ன பண்ணானோ வந்து வரலையே.
வேற எதுவும் கிடையாது. இந்த முண்டை தான் எங்க போய் வேலைக்கு வச்சாலும் இந்த முண்டை தான். எங்க போய் வேலைக்கு வச்சாலும் இந்த முண்டை தான்.
சொன்ன மாதிரி யாரும் அவன்தான் நீங்க 2 பேர் தான். சின்னப்பா நான் சொல்றேன் ஊர்ல சொல்றேன் என்ன சொல்றா சரி இந்த குழந்தை உட்கார முடிவு நிற்க முடியல
சாப்பிட
அங்க போனா டாக்டர் படிச்சமா எம்பிபிஎஸ் அவனுக்கு தெரியும் நீங்க சொன்னது அவள புரியா அதான் கதை குஞ்சு போச்சா குஞ்சு போயினே
எப்படி விடுறதா விடட்டும்.
அவ்வளோதான் பாரத்தை போட்டு அம்மா மேல பாரத்தை போட்டு தூக்கி போயினே அம்மன் தானே அதுக்கப்புறம் பாரத்தை
Train open. No, not. Get on the motorcycle.
When Rocky made the decision to move to India, I thought he was being impulsive, but I tried to be supportive. We'd been best friends for 10 years, lived together for 7. I assumed he would always be around. It's been 1.5 years since he left. He's asked me to come see him, but I haven't gone. We've kept in touch through email and Skype. He talks a lot about the kids and their struggles with HIV. His visa was rejected, so I'm on my way to pick him up at the airport. Rocky really didn't want to leave India, but I think it'll actually be good for him. To be honest, a part of me hoped Rocky wouldn't make it in India.
It was summertime. Lisa came home from work, and the kitten that Rocky loved jumped up into the car. And when she turned the car on, it cut the cat's face open. It just split his face wide open. And so Rocky wasn't home, he was at school. I took the kitten and I put it in a box, and I got the shovel, because I knew this cat, there's no way this kitten's gonna make it. It was just a little small kitten. And when Rocky came home, I said, Rocky, I have bad news. Your kitten was in the car, he got his face cut open. He's not gonna make it. He's in the garage in a box, take the box, the shovel, and go out back and dig a hole and bury this cat. So Rocky gets out there and I see him watching out the kitchen windows and he's got the hole buried, he's got the cat sitting there, and then he bends over and he just starts praying. I'm thinking, I told my wife, I'm like, why isn't he putting that cat in the hole? She's like, well, maybe it's still alive. Rocky comes in the house and he's like, yeah, that cat's still alive, what do you want me to do? And I told him, well, just hit it with the shovel and put it in the hole. Well, I'm working on a car in the garage, and I go in the garage, and in the box, there's that cat. Rocky's got salve all over its face, so it won't bleed anymore. Rocky had put a lot of time into that kitten, and that cat ended up surviving and being with us for years after that. I was pretty impressed.
I was gonna get out and give you a hug. How was your flight?
Yeah, it was good. I get a good flight. I have to stop multiple times.
You smell like a new garden hose. You know that smell? Wait a minute. No, right?
To the left.
Oh, that's for them. You can stay at our house if you didn't want to come. Are you wanting to go home and sleep?
No, I said
How you feel seeing Pittsburgh? I hate America. It almost seemed like Rocky had never been in America before when he came back. He was comparing everything to India. The very first thing we did was go to an Indian grocery store so he could cook us an Indian meal. He seemed really disengaged from life here.
When I had gotten the news that I had to leave, which was really discouraging, it slowed down my pace. I was like looking at the trees and at the rice paddies and looking at the ground and looking at all the animals, and I was like, man, this is incredible. Like, look where God has brought me. Look at this place. You look at the incredible relationships that I share with these people. And then going and being around the kids, seeing, you know, how much they had grown and how much they had healed and how excited they were that I was there, how upset they were that I was leaving. I was like, man, like, what if this was the end of me here? And what if this would be the last time I ever got to see him? And I'm not guaranteed anything. But, you know, what if I go back and in 6 months I'm in the same boat or something drastic happens?
Yeah, I'm in America now. I made it safely. What do you want from America?
You.
Me only. You don't want any gift?
No, American gifts I want right now.
Okay, Papa. I'll come quickly.
What do the kids call you in India?
Kids call me Rocky Anna in India. Anna basically means big brother. I'll call you Steve Anna. It's a term of endearment. I was never intending to go to the AIDS orphanage. It was never my plan. I didn't really like kids, to be honest with you. I don't know, I guess I was looking for something more shocking. So I thought the orphanage would be like stupid, like kind of like going to a daycare or something. But I didn't have any other options. And I thought, oh, I'll see these kids and I'll move on. But being there, seeing that they're in despair and they're hopeless and you're like, man, they're kids. You know, watching them cry. As they got closer to you, sharing like, yeah, I don't have a mother, I don't have a father. Every child desires a mother and father so much. I was really moved by the kids. These photo books that I saw, all these faces, different visitors from all over the world. They've been seeing faces their whole lives, just people who are in and out. And I was like, man, I don't want to just be a face in the book. Leaving was really hard the first time because like one of the little girls kept coming up to me and she's like, Rocky, no, I'm America going. She kept giving me little cards with like little photos of families on them and stuff. She was trying to like stand out. When it came down to the day to leave, she actually had her bags packed. And she like came out and like everybody like laughed at her and she was like crying.
Who was that?
Anita. She ended up staying there and I just ended up saying goodbye to her. But on the train, I just had like 2 days to just sit and think. I think we had reserved about 20 days at the end of the trip. And that was like our travel time where we were gonna see the country. I mean, it's remarkable. Everything's like so beautiful. Looking at all the buildings and seeing all the stuff, like seeing all these incredible people and these children and these neat houses and the colors are so enticing and you're like, oh, I wanna be a part of that. And knowing that you're not a part of it. And you're not, you're just a tourist. But in Chennai, I had been family to the kids. The treasure was the kids, and I felt I was wasting the last 20 days seeing this stuff that I knew wasn't gonna mean anything. They gave their heart to me, and I gave my heart to them, and what am I doing? I gotta get back and see my kids. And then I went back and surprised the kids. It was incredible. That last 10 days was so instrumental, though. I guess I was kind of working it out, like, well, could I adopt one of the kids? But then what do you say to the other ones? Could I go and visit them every 6 months? Like, really? Nothing seemed enough. And then I made a decision. I was, man, like, I can't take any of them out of that situation, but I can put myself into it. I need to move there. I started working really hard to get money. Because I know my tendency to just flake out, I have to make all my decisions quick.
You know, a lot of people were very negative. So going off of being validated by these different people would have never got me there.
If I move there and it doesn't work out, or if it's just not a right fit, I can always move back. Bought my ticket, got everything, sold everything I had, went with a suitcase of toys.
This all children health fine now.
All children, right missing.
I'm coming quickly, Ma.
Rocky's time here is pretty uneventful. We spend a lot of time at my house.
Sauce is good.
He comes to the office with me.
You guys were having an important meeting, and I felt like, I was like.
There's just not much for him to do here. A lot has changed for me since he left, and I find myself wondering what he thinks of my life now.
Oh, they put a GNC down here. You guys want to check it out?
No.
He's pretty much just waiting to go back. When he gets his visa renewed, I'm going to return with him.
How'd you get the nickname Rocky? That's from your grandfather, right?
Yeah, when I was about, I was born Robin James Sprott. When I would go and visit my grandfather, he would always be like, Robin's a girl's name. Why do you have a girl's name? I'm not gonna call you that, I'm gonna call you Rocky. And then when I would go back to my mom, I'd be like, yeah, my grandfather said that my name is a girl's name. I don't like that name, I want this name. And she'd be like, no, like, Rocky's a stupid name. I was borderline retarded in school. I wanted to be popular, I wanted to be cool, but I wasn't. I was in like all kinds of special education classes. And they called me like a sped. I didn't feel like I was a special ed kind of guy, but like I struggled hard to learn.
Are you okay talking about your family and stuff on camera?
Yeah, just be I don't know how yeah, use discretion.
Hey, Rock.
Well, originally I'm from Geneva on the Lake, Ohio, and grew up there.
You want to tell me your name?
My name is Jim.
And about the age of 7, my grandfather like brought me into this room and he sat me down on the bed and he's like, hey, your dad's gonna come. It like rocked my world. Like, what are you talking about, my dad? I thought you were my dad. And he's like, no, your dad he's a soldier. He had left when I was 3. I had ended up in the custody of my mother. During that time, my mother was, abusing a lot of drugs and alcohol. She would have boyfriends over and they would just beat the trash out of me and my sister, and it was just unbelievable. My grandparents intervened.
We went to Cleveland to get you and brought you home. Your sister was still there, and you lived with us for about 4 years.
I had no recollection of my father at all. One day he showed up. He had a wife that I'd never met. He had a son I had never met. He was like, hey, I'm your dad, and I'm here. I'm gonna take you. I just remember that being like a really scary process. Didn't have a really good relationship with my dad. 10th grade, and we had had a big argument. You know, I told him I don't want to live with you anymore, and the very next day I moved out and got an apartment with my sister. Just basically worked and went to school until I graduated. I feel like I naturally want to have like a close family environment and a close family setting, and just we couldn't manufacture it. We could not make it happen in our family.
No feeling okay?
Hey, I'm a man only. I feel.
No feeling okay. You go. You want to see, okay?
Okay, Papa. I'll do my best.
Rocky has always stayed in touch with his family, and while he is here, he made a trip back home to see them.
There's their house. My sister's Vita. My sister's house.
Hi!
This is my sister.
Rocky and I only had each other growing up. There were so many awful things that we've seen as such small children. No matter what he's even going through in his life, he always still tries to make sure all his sister's okay.
How are things with you and your dad?
Not good. Just kind of had a falling out, but it just seems like just a worthless situation.
I think there was a lot of miscommunication there because I've heard both their stories and they don't really mend too well. I think when you're going through a time when you're hurt or you're wanting support, things can come out wrong or you can see things another way. And we tend to get that way with my dad. I think Rocky, no matter what he says, deep down, he wants my dad to be proud of him. He will constantly, until he gets it, will be seeking my dad's approval. But I think that they were hoping that, you know, eventually he'd come home and he'd get married and pursue his career.
Are you mad at your dad?
No, I feel like I'm more hurt.
Do you feel like he doesn't need you?
No.
Grandpa, what are all these buttons on this chair for?
Structure. Don't play with it.
No,
When you turn on, the rest of them I got all set just right.
You miss having him around here at all, or?
Pardon?
You miss having him around here in Ohio?
Well, I miss him. I can't call him on the telephone and talk to him. He calls me through his computerized system. I can't write him a letter. I'm afraid I don't even know if I write him a letter, if he'd ever even get it. You know what I mean? I have no communications with him. You don't know what's going on. I don't know what kind of a big future you really have going to a country like that and doing a job that he's doing. It's more of a giving thing from your heart than it is to make money, that for sure, because I know he's not going to be a millionaire doing the job he's doing, you know. He's a very giving person. He always has been a very giving person, you know. He's surviving, and I'm glad that he's enjoying life, because that's what it's all about, you know. Enjoy life.
For me to go home and live in my hometown and throw my time and my life away, that seems incredibly wasteful. I won't do it.
You miss the kids?
Yeah, I miss the kids a lot. It's hard to be away so long.
You know, within a month of leaving, like, we had a death, we had multiple kids leave the home. Some of those people I didn't get to say goodbye to. You know, and it's hard not to get bitter and be like, man, what's up with people? Everyone is like, oh, we can't wait to see you, we can't wait to spend time with you. I'm like, no one wants to do anything. Like, I'm just kind of sitting by myself like an idiot. You know, everyone's working and pursuing relationships and careers, and you can't just slip right back into the mix. I still love my family, I still love my friends, but I don't feel like they need me. I absolutely do not feel that. So it's easy to disconnect from those things. I mean, obviously I have essential relationships, a relationship to you. Like, I feel like you owe me something and I owe you something. We're bonded. I mean, does he understand why I've moved to India? Like, what I'm trying to do? I don't know if that's coming across. I think maybe people are thinking that it's, just the white guys coming and playing in the woods, whereas it's not. Why am I insecure about everything in my life?
It's easy. It's easy for me to doubt myself. No, this can't be right.
I mean, so much of a people pleaser that if anyone is not on board with it, I get very weirded out. I get very afraid. And I start to have anxiety that, you know, that in some way that it's a message that I'm not doing what's right, and that, you know, that I'm just some kind of rogue who's living some kind of wacky life or something.
Your sister out coming?
Yeah, my sister's coming today.
You happy?
Me and my sister Nitty is Sunday. Yes.
It's kind of 3.9 miles away on Lincoln Avenue, Bellevue, Pennsylvania. You know, this might be giving me directions to his old Pittsburgh, like, you know what I mean?
No, what? Like, she doesn't even remember the lies she tells.
I waited all day for her. It's nearly 12 o'clock. Watch, she calls me in the morning.
Sorry, brother, I blah, blah, blah.
She's telling him everything that happened.
And then I started falling asleep driving, so I said, hi, buddy.
What just happened for the last 6 hours? Can you break that down to me hour by hour?
As soon as I left the mechanic shop, my Garmin powered down and I could not get it to the 7-Eleven. Yeah, 7-Eleven. And the Garmin ended up coming back on 79.
79 on the side of the road?
Sorry, 80. No, on the highway. Some truck driver put a plug in it and has like, you know, like those portable, oh man, I'm just thinking about like how I couldn't even call aggressive. I couldn't call, and it's like one of those feelings where you're trying so hard to not let your eyes close and you know they're closing. What is his problem?
Emotionally being here was like really hard. It brought out a lot of just like hurt, unforgiveness towards my dad and my family.
You had mentioned a couple nights ago that you had kind of a fear of returning. What is your fear coming from?
I guess the same place. Just a fear of failing, fear. I mean, there's just so much riding on it. You know, going back means suffering.
I mean, India's pretty brutal, so I mean, I know it'll beat on me, and there's no telling how discouraged I'll get.
You're recording me pizza eating? This is Rocky binging on pizza for India.
We're leaving for India first thing in the morning. I'm nervous but excited to see his life there.
We're going to India.
You are coming home Monday? Exactly time, please tell me.
7 o'clock morning. Exactly 7 o'clock. Pressing it. Bye. I'm going airplane.
Going?
Ama.
Yes!
I love you too, Kupi.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to go. It's been much harder than I thought it was gonna be. I guess I expected to just come back and everything be the same as it was. I feel like that I don't really have anything here anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't desire this lifestyle anymore. I found my purpose. I'm not confused about that. Yenarda vitike angerike. My house is over there. My heart is in India.
We got 4 minutes to get there, so let's go.
Oh, almost ran over.
I told him 7 o'clock exactly.
It's 7 o'clock. We're walking through the gate as I said we would. Locked.
Broken leg.
Kanya may paningawa. How is my sweet sister? Wow, look at how beautiful you are. Wow. Oh, it's so good to see you. Fired up, huh?
Yeah.
Dandaraga, passingay. What up, dog? Oh! Hey, man. Hey, buddy. Yeah.
Hi, what is your name?
Hi, I'm Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
Stephen Anna.
Yeah, Stephen Anna.
What's up, Swati? Stephen Anna, there. No. Hi, man.
Nice to check it. Hey, Tom?
Hey, look who it is.
I'm gonna have to get everybody to write their names down.
Wow, that hero, huh?
Did you miss Rocky?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Look at this guy. Sorry, man. Fine, huh? Turn you up. Did you miss me? Small, huh? Big?
Happy birthday, Rocky.
Are you taking breaks?
I'm refreshed. I'm much more grateful for being in India. I'm much more excited to be with the kids just because I've been able to appreciate them. I definitely have just been excited because I did want to share India with you.
When I met the kids, the whole idea of them having AIDS made me cautious, and I was nervous about them touching me. Just watching Rocky help me to push through it. He doesn't even think about AIDS. That whole time, it was unbelievable. It's almost stupid trying to describe it. Everything just started to make sense. The kids are they're beautiful, they're neat, they're just happy that you've come to visit. I'm sure their lives are really hard, but they're not impressing that on you. In fact, it's the complete opposite.
The home is for women and children affected and abandoned by AIDS and HIV. The main focus is a refuge, a place of peace and encouragement. All the children, all the women have HIV, except the cook and myself. They share meals together. The aunties are there as mothers, and I try to be there as like a father and a friend and a brother.
I'm fighting for you, Pa. You don't feel about that, Mother. No one is taking you. Okay? Look. No one is taking you. You know tonight. You have a big life.
We just work together as a community to make sure that the kids are taken care of. I think it's very unique in the way that it operates. We take family trips together. We celebrate each other's birthdays.
We, watch movies together.
And asked him to come all the way out to India.
We tell jokes and cry together and do all kinds of stuff together.
Teach her how to brush your teeth. This, good job. Yeah, sick. Show your teeth to him. Holy crap. All right, go wash your teeth. Go wash. So we're about to cook some hot dogs for the first time.
Mutton dogs? What the crap is a mutton dog?
I'm gonna teach you the mastery of hot dog sanjiri. Come on. Awesome. Once again, I want you to go play. Go do something. Buy you a dollhouse and you're playing in the sewer.
It was exhausting trying to keep up with Rocky, but I didn't want to miss a moment. Anything he had to show me, I wanted to see it, I wanted to experience it. We took a trip to Chennai to visit Davy in the hospital. She's one of the girls from the home, and she's been here for a few days.
You want pizza, man?
You want us to get you pizza? You can order.
After that, we went to see his friends in the circus village.
See, their village is a circus village, so a lot of them do circus acts.
He took me to the slums. We stayed there for the night.
Very nice, super.
That's brother.
It seemed like he had friends everywhere.
I can't even lay in this house without my feet sticking outside the door. But I'm happy.
Rocky, my best friend, my best brother.
Make one sentence with the pizza.
I like pizza so much.
Good job. So I'm so happy to be back here. I have some good news. I'm planning on taking one Indian girl, getting my marriage. Ready? So then, everyone together.
I was always beautiful.
Wow. Red jumpsuit apparatus. Yeah, honky. Red poisoning. It's not chocolate. It's not rat chocolate.
Big brother Rocky.
Oh, geez, who is it? Is it Arun Kumar? Is it Swati? Is it Deepak? I just saw you, Deepak. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she knew.
And he was afraid that the children...
The baby also will get.
Okay.
My father told that don't
make this baby born. She put the abortion injection, but she did not. The abortion injection did not work. My mom went to admission and got 2 babies. The 2 babies' name is Deepak. So that was twins. My father told that we'll all take a poison and die. My father went out and bought some poison. He told that no need poison. If you die also, I will look after my babies. 4 months after my father's death, my mom went to a hostel. Then we went to the checkup. They told that I and Deepak or Dinesh are not having, only my mom was having it.
Having what?
HIV.
3 kids, no HIV. What's your name?
My name is Surya.
I know.
Yeah?
I just want to have it on camera. Say it. Do it again. What's your name?
Surya.
Surya.
Yeah.
Say Surya.
Surya.
Surya always seems to be around. I look down and he's there, wanting to use the camera or something. He's like a little sidekick. Cecilia gave me photos of herself from when she was a kid as a gift, and I could tell those photos meant a lot to her, and she's very excited to give them. Satis walked me through his photo album. He told me about his mother dying and how he has a brother in another hostel that he hasn't seen for years. It's amazing to be here and to hear their stories. Each one is so tragic, but incredible. I feel very fortunate to just know them.
I want to give you a lot of good things, Ma. But I don't want you to just take, I want you to be grateful. Even though life is hard and they have some challenges, I mean, they have to build character. You know, one day they're going to leave the place. And, you know, as much as I want them to be loving and kind to each other, I also want them to be, like, respectful and humble and grateful for what they get. Sometimes Rocky and I call him,
Yeah.
Anytime call him?
No.
No. Sometimes, though, yeah? Sometimes Rocky and I shouting.
Yeah.
Hey, Lucid! Sorry, Solid! She said sorry. There's times I just flip out. I get arrogant, I get rude, or I get impatient, or unloving. Deepa, shut up! I don't know. I don't presume to be parent of the year or anything, but I do try to make sure that they're growing with some sort of character. You have a hug? I love you, Mom. Okay?
How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Just cleaning up my house. There's a rat nest on top of the bureau. Urinating and crapping on all my stuff. It's cool. So I renovated this house.
You know, I could probably live in a nicer house and get the American toilet and get an air conditioning unit. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I don't do that. I think it creates a separation. Like, there's the white king, and he's got everything he wants, and I can't have that stuff because I'm poor. Other people can't turn off their suffering, you know, or medicate their suffering with money. That when you put those same standards on yourself, it almost forces your heart to change.
Hey. How are you? Ha? Yang ke?
Snake? Yeah. What does Fredison mean?
Fredison means big.
I think when I first came to the village, people were suspicious and skeptical and put off by me. People would always look and scowl, and I just made a plan, like I'm gonna try to serve people. Winning the hearts of the men and women by winning the hearts of their children.
Hi, Anu. How are you, Anu? You happy? Wow. Now it's in la. Huh?
Started teaching at the school, teaching computers and teaching English, and that opened up a lot of doors.
Mouse! Days and vegetables.
And I'd buy like the poor families vegetables and fish and different things to like help them out. You know, I get invited to people's weddings, people's functions. I feel like there's very little distinction between me and anyone else. And the kids are, you know, excited when I come around and they kind of make a big ordeal about it, but I feel like in general, like people just accept me as being a part of the village. It's probably 70 to 80 years behind the rest of the world. No one in my village has running water inside their house, including me. It's just kind of frozen in time.
So weird because you just can't put it on camera.
What?
Just the experience. You can't capture it.
We've tried everything to get this ring off of his hand. It's like indestructible. We tried soap, oil. It will not come off. Sophia got a pearl stuck in her ear. She somehow dropped it in there. That ball is stuck in that ear for 6 months. I'm gonna put super glue on the end of this Q-tip. I'm gonna pull that thing out of her ear. Oh God, this is so scary. Wait, it's on it, it's on it. Oh, man, so close. Oh, it came off. Come on, God, help us get this. Come on, Yoga, let's get this. Yogurt, come on. I know it's hot. It's coming. It's coming. No. Oh! All right, ready? Here's the season finale. Oh, man. This ring. My big wedding ring made out of it. Hey! Oh, man, we just got a small cut taking it off. Hey, buddy. You fired up?
Yeah. Thank you, Ragina.
You're welcome, man. I was seriously just about to give up. I felt like such an idiot. It's like I'm a moron. What am I doing?
Rocky has found interest in a woman named Nimi, but I'm having a hard time getting him to talk about her.
Can we come back to that? Or do you want to focus on that now?
Why?
It just seems premature. No?
You mean like because you haven't decided to marry her yet?
There's...
Every time I bring it up, you put it off.
Oh, why? That fever coming? That checking what fever?
Yeah, doctor, Ragina.
This is important to get a camera. I love it. What is that? That's chocolate stain.
No.
Hey. They're like, I'm hurt. They'll like go and run into a wall. And give in them. No, pa. Band-aid duty. All right, I'll get you next. You're good to go. Don't touch it, okay? Oh, man. I don't know if it's like just getting attention or... Watch, I'll like really stream. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. Oh, yo, she looks so troubled over this scratch on her hand. Show me. Oh, yo. Ready? Oh, my gosh. Okay. Okay, now like a hospital admission, okay?
Where are you going?
Hospital going.
Say, I am hospital going.
I am hospital going.
Why?
Skin coming.
Skin pain.
I am fan footing.
I feel like there's a lot of people who come and they get freaked out. The children know the difference between someone who's got a distance, doesn't want to eat off their plate, touch them or pick them up, or, you know, freak out if they have like blood or anything. I think whether or not people realize they're doing it, the children know. We had a staff member who worked in the city, and Kirti tested this girl's love for her. She basically offered food, and she said, "You won't eat this off of my plate because you're afraid." It humbled that staff member so much because she was afraid. But she ate it because she didn't want Kirti to feel that she was afraid of her. Being in situations where you need to step up, you know, kids are bleeding, kids have like, you know, wet themselves, they need help, you know, and they're looking to you to help them. It's not a time to, you know, put them off and be like, oh, you know, fix yourself. It was definitely hard in the beginning. You'd have kids come to you and they'd have like sores all over their face. You know, I'm not a blood fan, I'm not a vomit kind of fan. That kind of stuff totally wigs me out. So the kids would come up to me and they'd just expect you to see them and not their sores. And just also seeing how much it hurt the kids. It made them feel even worse. So I had to like overcome that. But it took some time. It took some time to train my mind. Not to see that, but to see the kids where they were.
Clean tablet.
3 times every day?
Yeah.
Taking that?
Yeah.
That many? Wait, you helping?
Yeah, no, camera.
Can I? Which one is that? Is that skin?
No.
Uh-oh. Good?
Yeah.
All done?
Yeah.
What was the big one?
That's AAT. Yeah, AAT tablet.
You taking?
Yeah. One problem coming now. This no eating tablet, no putting, no death.
That's it.
Yeah. This eating, no, I am dead.
That was the first I'd ever heard of ART tablets, and I came to learn that they're a cocktail drug composed of 3 or 4 other drugs. As with any drug, there's side effects. Some of the kids have lost their vision, some can't sleep, they get ulcers in their stomach, they have skin reactions. It's unpredictable what can happen from these pills. But this is basically keeping the kids alive.
Before the ARTs, I mean, they were like, kids are dropping like flies. Like Priya, she buried so many of these kids. When she was telling me there's times that they buried like 2 in a month.
Hey, at least the dogs came out and greeted me. I like to see you too. We're gonna oil you up, dog. You are dry as a bone. You know what they say, black don't crack, but it can crack if you don't put oil on it. So that black don't crack. Good job.
We have to really, really monitor them all the time. They have to get a lot of blood tests, have tons of health food. They gotta get tons of rest. Everything can be great. They can look beautiful, clear skin, clear eyes, be happy, be excited. And then the next minute, it's like a train wreck. You know, their skin just flares up. They get sores all over their skin. You gotta cut their hair. They gotta get admitted into the hospital. A sore turns into a full-blown infection. A little fever turns into something fatal.
Better, nice?
I hate how fragile the situation is. I hate that even though I've become family to them, or they've become family to me, I hate the idea of death being able to separate.
You are my awesome brother, and you are my best friend.
come my way. Trouble come my way. Gotta cry sometimes.
Gotta cry sometimes.
Trouble come my way.
Trouble come my way.
Gotta cry sometimes.
My 3 children's me only loving Rocky.
I'm loving your children so much. You're my real sister. Hey, you're my real sister. We're helping each other, no? Hey, helping each other, no? You're a good woman, Mata. Your heart is paka quality. What encouragement do you want? Sunday we should get pizza.
No pizza,
Why?
only hard. Pizza eat pain going heart pain going
We took a busload of kids to a hospital in Chennai, and Rocky wanted to get them pizza.
How many pizzas?
17 taken out.
17 people. 17 people. I want that delivered to Ward 22 in the TB hospital. Okay, the pizza's coming to Ward 22.
We got the delivery and had to carry it through the hospital. As we walked, people would put their hands to their mouths, motioning for us to feed them. The reality and discomfort of what was happening really bothered one of our friends.
You know, like, looking at these kids, man, they don't need pizza. It turns them into different people.
Yeah.
It's like, they enjoy it and it makes them happy, and I want to, like, give them things. It's just, like, so the wrong instinct. It makes me feel sick.
You know, I'm not trying to like make these kids America. Like here, like eat pizza and like just listen to iPods. I'm trying to actually do something good. And it's hard for me to not feel like a jagoff. I feel like, you know, I feel like a retard carrying this pizza. I want to throw it on the ground. Too. But they don't have a choice to not eat rice every day. Sometimes it's just life is sweet to have a piece of pizza rather than a bowl of rice.
Why don't you want to talk about this girl?
Come on, man.
Huh?
I don't know.
You don't want to talk about Nimi? Never.
What's wrong with you?
Come on, man. Don't be a tool. This is the most important thing going on in your life right now, and you're dodging it. Doesn't make any sense.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
Time is right.
Is it hard to decide to marry Nimi?
I'm gonna punch you in the throat. Oh, dang it! I don't have a brain. Phone.
Laptop.
Gee, I hope that works again. Why a Neanderthal? Seriously, I do stuff that's so dumb. Okay. Let's go. If you guys are confident, it makes me feel more confident, like, yeah, I can serve, I can give my heart. But if it's like, I'm serving and I'm giving my heart and it's like, well, I don't even know if these people really want me around, it just crushes my confidence. I can't serve like that. It's just a fear that, like, you know, that I will give everything and, you know, work extremely hard to, you know, build the family environment, make sure the kids are protected and feel loved and feel safe. And then at some point, it'll blow away, it'll break down. There's things that you guys think you understand that you don't. And there's things that I think that I understand that I don't.
Like whether or not I'm sharing like the challenges and asking for help or, I don't know, suffering through something. It just seems like sometimes it's hard to get people to understand. Even just being like the only white person, sometimes it's hard to relate with anyone. It's funny because even when Americans come, I find it hard to relate to them. I feel like sometimes people just think I'm crazy. I think in times like that, I feel really alone. I'm not just some sort of weirdo American trying to enforce his American principles. People will always criticize. You're never going to win the approval of everyone. It's impossible. Like, even with this idea of marrying an Indian woman, there's a lot of people who have been discouraging it. There's a lot of people who are like, we don't think an Indian girl will suit your culture. And I didn't want to divide what I was doing here with someone who had been exposed to like Western culture and felt the desire for like the finer things in life.
Rocky and Nimi have entered a courtship process, which means they'll go on a series of supervised dates and try to figure out if they want to be married. He wanted to go for a walk because he said he was finally ready to talk about her.
You could tell me about your date on Saturday with Nimi.
I just talked about like expectations. You know, I tried to just be very straightforward about who I am and so that she's not like misled. I told her how important the kids are to me and how I want to live in the village. Well, she was like really concerned on whether or not like I would just leave her after a couple of months of marriage. So she's like, well, I know that's kind of how the Americans do it. They hit a bump and then one of them takes off. So I was like, no, not everybody.
So was it like smiles and stuff like that, or is it just like a business conversation?
No, like she had a chart paper like writing down all my answers.
Did she really?
And like checking in boxes and stuff.
Shut up. Are you serious?
And I had like my iPod Touch and I was no, you know, like it was good. It was a good time. It was a connection. I mean, I felt at peace with it.
We were passing through the village on our way back to the hostel, and we noticed a crowd around the temple. We looked inside and saw Vemity, who is a young village girl and one of Rocky's students. Vemity and her sister often come to the hostel with their mother to pick up scraps for their pigs. And when they came, I would film them because I thought they were very beautiful.
Wait. Hi.
Rocky has told me about these kinds of tragedies. I just never thought I would experience one.
I was saying, why has no one taken her to the hospital? They kept saying that the mother goddess will heal her. They'd been bringing her to the temple for 10 days and nothing had happened. Like, I have money, like, don't worry. So he started to lift her up. The crowd was like, no, put her back down, put her back down. As we drove, I could just hear him talking to his daughter, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. I kept holding his knee, and I said, we're almost there. It's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And I just begged God, please don't let this girl die. This is the absolute worst time for the gate to be down. The train is taking just a little bit too much time, and her head just falls back. My throat tightens, my eyes just start to water, and I'm like, oh my God, like, this guy's daughter just died. So he's like, I'm going to my house, I'm going back to the village. Everybody's shouting. I get back on the bike. The 4 doctors like, how many days hasn't she eaten? 5 days. They're like, why didn't you bring her sooner? And then they picked up the oxygen mask and everyone just stopped. He just slung her over his shoulder and he just started to wail. You know, bringing Vemity back from the hospital, bringing her into the house, setting her down, having everyone come and mourn, just feeling like a total failure. There was a couple of people who were like, what did you do? That's your punishment for taking her. You know, just scolding the dad and, you know, really making sure that he felt like a fool. She didn't have Vemity till she was 40 years old. She grasped me and she just said, she always used to call your name, Rakina. And then the husband goes, Rakina, Rakina, Rakina.
It's Vemity!
What do you think, Steve? I mean, what are you thinking?
I was blindsided tonight. Realizing what it takes to keep a child alive here, I just lost it, man. Some little boy stood there and watched me cry. I don't know, it makes you think of like some of the things you've been through and understanding it a little more now.
சரி வாட்டர்
I'm probably gonna get asked 1,000 times what's wrong. The kids hate seeing me cry. I wish I could have done something different. Subu. Hey, man. Hi, buddy. You're sleeping, right? Huh?
Yeah.
That gate down, the train coming, waiting. My bike that girl that father so much crying. I'm
I love you. I love you.
Hello. Yeah, night all children on group scribing all children.
Got it.
Rocky wanted to leave the village and just process everything that was going on. And while we were riding, I told him that I heard Vemity's little sister Conchina was also sick, and that it might be the same thing that Vemity had. Rocky just stopped the bike and he's like, we need to help her. We went straight to their place and pleaded with the father to take Conchina to the hospital. It was amazing that he trusted us enough to take her after losing Vemity the night before. We were denied by 2 hospitals before we finally got her admitted. And during that time, she had a temperature of 104. We found out she did in fact have the same thing as Vemity. She ended up being in the hospital for 22 days.
I knew that at some point I was gonna have to bury somebody. Our first death was Bhuvana. She basically had gotten some sort of lung infection. I would just sit by her bed and play dominoes. You know, it was a week later, she ended up dying. Sheishu's death was much more challenging because I was much closer with Sheishu. I just couldn't believe that anyone would have such a hard life. She always felt like she had nothing to live for. You know, I carried her casket, we set it on the sidewalk, we said our last words, and then we put the lid on and like hammered in the nails, lowered the casket, and I pushed the dirt. I had always envisioned doing that. I don't look forward to that day, but if they are to die, then they should die with somebody by their side. I have to face the facts that that's what I signed up for, if that makes sense.
It's like funny though, because in America we always have like happy story at the end, but Indian story is like opposite. It's always like a lot of sad endings. He said, careful in the village right now. He said, because people might blame you for her death. So, switching subjects, did you get any feedback about the date with Nimi? I felt like the connection was good.
We had some good joking. We had some very serious talk. I mean, I felt pretty good. I felt at peace about it. So even with that date, I could easily move forward and fix with that girl.
You don't think he wants you to marry her? Who do you think he wants you to marry? American girl?
Yep. I think why I've been desiring a wife so much is because, like, hanging on to the kids is like trying to hold sand like they're not my kids. I don't have any power to push or pull anything. When they go, they go. When they die, they die. And I think it just creates like a sense of loneliness. No one else can take my wife away or my kids away. But in this situation, people can take these kids, which in my heart are my kids, but they're not on paper. They're nothing.
Vimity's father came to Rocky's house. He wanted to see some photos of his daughter.
Hey, Subu, what are you doing? Huh?
I'm playing
Playing what?
doll.
Why is this son not sleeping?
Tired, some pain, head pain, fever.
This favorite on there?
Yeah,
This? He's your brother?
yeah.
What are your symptoms right now? My eyes really hurt. I got a slight cough. My head hurts. My kidneys hurt. My lungs feel really weak. I felt a little bit nauseous, but that's gone away, which is great because I hate feeling nauseous.
And you think it's all stress-induced?
Absolutely.
Why?
Somebody told me that. I don't pretty much believe anything people tell me. That was a joke. Sorry, I used to be a lot funnier. And just beating the humor out of me.
My trip's coming to an end. Apart from his health, his spirit is crushed. Some of the villagers were happy to learn that Rocky was sick. They said if he hadn't taken her out, that she'd still be alive. And how damaging criticism can be for Rocky. It'd be hard for anyone to bear that. I promised him I'd come back for his wedding, whenever that would be.
I'm sad you're leaving because I know it's going to be hard. You gave so much, but the problems are going to come, and I'll be the one to face them.
Oh, wow, man.
What?
Oh. Bye. Bye, Sole.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye, Stephen.
Yeah, it definitely sucks facing the challenges alone.
village had found out that the children were HIV positive. People are uneducated, so they hear HIV and just freak out. The village was very offended, like, how could you move these people into our village without us even knowing? Like, how could you deceive us like that? That was their words. You endanger our children by putting your children in with them. And they just felt like we didn't ask for this trouble and you brought this into our lives and you expect us to accept that. That's too much. Now everybody knows that they have AIDS, the students, the teachers, so they'll say stupid comments to the kids like, your blood is poisonous and you're sick, you're gonna die. And all this like stuff that just makes the kids feel like garbage. Everyone seemed to start rejecting me. People wouldn't talk to me. No one was coming to my house. My house was like a ghost town. And then I figured out people started to assume because I work in the home that I also have AIDS, so you have to keep your distance from me or you'll get AIDS.
But that's just India, man. India, it's crazy. You're watching just injustice happen. It's like you can't do anything. You're just like looked at as idealistic. Just crazy that you could be trying to do something good and be met with so much opposition.
They have a process in India where you kind of declare it to other people, kind of like a verbal agreement. You know, we went to that and I was pretty confident that she was gonna say yes. And when I got there, she said no. She felt like, well, he just wants to stay in India so bad, he doesn't care who he'll marry. I didn't feel that way. And after that, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to go through with this. I just felt like an idiot. I was like, what am I doing?
I don't want to get close to anyone. I hate being close to people. It's so dumb. I don't want to give to anyone. Just like, I don't want to get set up and get blown over. Like, there's freedom in not being close to anyone because, like, you don't get hurt. There's a temptation to just blow this thing off. You know, the only thing is all the children will suffer. Hey guys, sorry I couldn't man up. I had to bail out. Then I go back on my motto to not retreat.
It's just hard to watch everything you've built over 3 years just fall apart.
Rocky had to leave India again. Unaware of the uprisings occurring in Egypt, he booked a cheap flight into Cairo. The rioting forced him out of the country and onto a bus to Jerusalem. And through all this, Rocky and Nimi have stayed in touch, and he convinced her that he cares for her. When his visa was renewed, he went back to India.
So, Steve was adamant about me sharing about just what I've been feeling lately in regards to the marriage stuff. Being out of the country, it was much more easy. I was much more at peace, and coming back here, it's just all right back in your face again. Wow, I suffered through 3 years, and it was incredible, the best 3 years of my life, but just also a very challenging 3 years of my life. And, you know, to accept that I'm going to be in a place where this is going to be the normal for my life. Like, I'm going to be suffering all the time, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. I don't want to flake out on the kids, and I am trying to come to a very sincere conclusion. And I think that's fair, to be afraid. You know, if I marry this girl, that means that I'm marrying India. It's not just her, that means that, you know, I will have roots. Long-term, 15, 20, 30 years down the road. Take the kids out of the picture. Can I live in this country? Can I marry India?
Steve, you know me really well. You're my best friend. What do you think?
Well, do you want to marry Nimi? Because that shouldn't hinge on whether or not you want to be in India. Because if it does, it's a means to an end. You're going to have a hard time no matter what. You know, you're going to go through stuff that's going to make you drive your head through a wall. That's why you got to ask, do you love her? So, what do you think, man? You want to marry her or what? Rocky again asked Nimi to be his wife, and this time she said yes. I promised him I'd be at his wedding. 2 days before my flight left, I received this phone call.
Suria's situation is not good. They say his survival percentage is like less than 10%. All the membranes in his body are getting inflamed. The skin is just breaking and just coming off and it looks like blood. Basically, that's happening inside his body.
You all right, man? What's your name?
Surya.
Surya.
Yeah.
Love of mine, someday you will die, and I'll be close behind. I'll follow you into the dark. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the nose on their vacancy sign. There's no one beside you as your soul embarks. Then I'll follow you into the dark.
You know, rather than praying for him to survive, which I had zero faith that that could happen, I just prayed that God would make his death special.
I didn't know if Sudi would still be alive when I got to India. My flight landed at 3 a.m. We go straight to the hospital. And, you know, Rocky's dirty, he's sweaty. He'd been staying in the hospital for 5 nights with Sudia, just tirelessly working. At first, I was just really taken back by his wounds. I was thinking about AIDS. I know that you don't just get it, but I was afraid. And I tried to hide it. I was even afraid to touch his blanket. I mean, really, I was more worried about myself than Sudia. I'm ashamed of that. You know, watching Rocky take care of Sudia was really humbling. He would clean and oil his wounds 3 times a day, and he didn't have these boundaries and limits. He just kept going. I wanted to do what he was doing. It really changed my heart.
What is that, Rocky?
This is it's a cold press for his eyes. Basically, it'll keep the he's getting a lot of like it'll basically keep it from getting infected on his eyes, and it'll help his eye to open because it's like crusted shut.
So the doctors declared he wouldn't survive Sunday. That was basically the story all the way through Wednesday. You know, Wednesday, he started to run into a lot of complications. He wasn't able to pass urine. He needed to take different medications orally. He wasn't able to do that. He had no signs of veins. Couldn't find anything in his arms or his hands. They had to like search in his legs. And for like days, they were trying to get like blood, no blood samples. He also got TB. He got 2 infections in his eyes. He had to get 2 surgeries. I mean, he was just a mess. I mean, the stuff just kept going wrong. Breaking, so that fluid is coming out. I wasn't prepared to go as far as Surya had needed me to go. Actually, I thought, you know, Sunday he's not going to make it, and was expecting to leave, you know, Monday. And it was deep because I saw how like selfish I was being. Staying in an Indian hospital is an absolute nightmare. He had asked me to stay, so I made a decision despite what everybody else was saying, because even other people felt kind of uncomfortable, like, you know, you're not really his father, you're not really his relationship, you don't really work for the organization, so you're just kind of this volunteer. And even the doctors are confused by that, like, who are you? Like, what's your role? And I'm like, I'm nobody.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Small pain will come. I'm so happy with you. Come on, you're so strong, Donna. Come on, you're doing awesome. Ready? Ready? Can you open it? Open. One more. One more. One more. One more.
Does it hurt him?
No. Look, Steven and I.
Hey, buddy. How are you? Hi.
Look what he got you.
Look at it.
Look at your gift. What is that? Can you tell me who is this?
Who's this?
In the payan yare. So fired up.
Who is that, buddy?
Huh? Ben 10. Good
Ben
job.
10.
Wait, let's spin. Tu pa. Video. Video. Give. Put him on. Who is it? Ben 10. Good job, you got something he knows.
You still like Ben 10?
Favorite? He's fired up.
Everyone on his ward died except him.
My last time doing that was like 2001.
Oh.
So after that, no.
Now why you worried about that HIV now?
Because they said I should get tested.
Oh.
So my marriage is this month, so they said you should get tested just to be safe. It'll be a real surprise if, you know, it comes back positive. I would call off the marriage. I mean, she's persistent that we would still get married, but I wouldn't do that to her. I mean, even if that was her wish, I wouldn't. And all these people in these hospital beds just like wasting away. I mean, it is no joke. It's very, very devastating to look at and to watch somebody suffer through it.
So we're going to get the results for the HIV test.
What's up?
So, test result came back negative. So no problem.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Nimi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Did you have your breakfast?
What?
Did you brush your teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the shop and get some things. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Please tell me the result.
What result? TB result, huh? TB result or HIV result? Which one you want? Both, No, both negative. But still, we can't get married. But still, we can't get married.
I want to talk to you about our marriage.
What? What time should I be there? 5 o'clock.
Hey,
Steady, I'll be there. What day is that? Thursday, huh? I'll be there Thursday the 25th at 5 o'clock for the marriage, okay?
There's like a sense of madness that comes with loving things that can come and go from your life. Loving things that fragile and unstable. Especially when you lose people that you planned on loving long term. The desire to have a wife where you stay together. You work together, you fight together, you cry together. And hopefully you die together.
I think the biggest breakthrough I had was when she said, you know, I'll be with you until my death. And I was just like, wow, like, it's incredible that she will be with me and care about me.
Put your head back. Aw, you're looking so sad. You sad? Huh? Yeah. Why? Huh? Painting. He's sad because it's a lot of painting.
I just don't feel like I could do it alone. Because we all need love.
Anita was admitted to the hospital, but no one really knew what was wrong with her.
Okay, let's go.
Sudi left intensive care. He was transferred to the 4th ward with Anita. The hospital staff was amazed that he survived. Rocky believes that God saved Sudio's life. The doctors and nurses say that Rocky saved Sudio's life.
So, how's it gonna be when it all comes round? You look good, though. Right? No? That face is nice, no? Hey, face is nice, no? See? It's coming nicely. I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
உன்னோட முடி போயிட்டு பரவாயில்ல நானே ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்குது சொல்லு
என்னோட முடி போயிடுச்சுன்னா எனக்கு பரவாயில்ல.
அப்புறம்
I am beautiful.
correct. She talked to the nurse and the nurse said that Sudio's out of danger, which is pretty awesome.
Out of danger?
Out of danger. No longer in danger. Do we have to be at the meeting? Do we have to be at this meeting?
It's your wedding, for crying out loud. You should be there.
Now next is cake and knife, unity candle, matchbox, helping usher, cake table arrangement. Who is getting the cake?
If you're fine, then it's fine. But I don't want to please all the people. It's not possible.
I'm fine, really fine.
You're gonna tell him.
Now can you, you'll be doing the video, kind of doing the video, okay.
I'll be there Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
What's Friday?
If you are not here, I'll marry another. I'll find another man.
One, Tan, nah? Two, Robin, James, Brad.
Brad. Sunday, in the side van, rendu manaki. Van, vanduchi, the rendu manaki. Okay, va? In the side. Can't you know? Sunday, my man. Yeah. Rendu manaki. He said he didn't die. He's happy that he didn't die. I'm also happy he didn't die.
What is love? What is love, Divya? So come on. I'll send a champagne.
Surya, what do you need? Another?
How much happy are you? Big? Go. Ain't that? You look beautiful.
I mean, he was in the hospital for 4 months, and I was there for as much as I could be, you know, in regards to also getting married and all of that.
So we tried to get permission to get him to come to the wedding. I was like something I was telling him that if he got better, he would be dancing in the wedding. Medical officers.
Oh, man. You look awesome.
I gotta give up my best friend, but I'm happy for you, man. I know you're gonna be a good husband because you're such a good friend. You're really gonna love your wife. I think you're gonna serve her. I think she's gonna be very happy to be married to you.
Rocky always wanted me to film his wedding. I wanted to be a part of it, but of course I'd film it anyway.
I want to share about my best friend Steve, the cameraman. He's an incredible friend, an incredible brother to me. And I want to share about the women in the home. You women lay your life down every day for those children. It's hard work, but you never complain. You become mothers for all the children. I want to share about the girls in the home. You guys are truly God's angels. You guys are daughters to me. I want to share about the boys in the home. You guys are sons to me. You guys are awesome. You're heroes to me. I've been praying for my whole life to meet you. My whole life, really. I wanted to have a family and have a wife when I was like, what? Even, my family's not here. But it's okay. You said you wouldn't leave me. That meant a lot.
That night I kept thinking how I could have lived my whole life and missed all of this.
Hello.
And that almost happened. Now, why did it take 3 years for me to come here? I can't even imagine this not being a part of my life now.
Going on.
Bus is going.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's a pretty emotional day, but overall very encouraging, very inspiring. She looked beautiful. It was really awesome. So, love you. Thanks for coming.
Turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, these final words, I will lay down my heart.
No child ever grows out of their need for family. I mean, even the little kids have started calling her mommy and started calling me daddy. You know, the children have invested their trust. That's the only thing they can give, is their trust and their love. To just leave, I think, would be incredibly selfish. So I don't see an end to the mission. I don't see an end to the need. I don't see an end, for sure. And I'm fine with that.
Found love, darling, darling. Love in the nick of time.
I think it's gonna be hard for you to leave, big time. Just knowing your character and knowing what that place was like, you're gonna love it. He's gonna totally fall in love with it.
Best friend.
Thank you.